everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about things that I wish I knew before getting into the TV industry. So I'm just gonna jump right into this. There are about 7 or 8 things that I wish I knew before coming into this industry. The first thing is that I would not compare the TV industry to corporate America, in the sense where you're staying at one job and you're working your way up in that one job for years. And the reality is TV shows are really, at this point, they're like long gigs. So it's possible that you might have the same position on different shows repeatedly until you're on a show long enough to be actually promoted to the next level. I think in corporate America, you get used to the structure of you work with one company and you might be there for 3 to 5 to 10 years in one place and move your way up gradually. In television, you do move up, but like the structure and the way it looks is different. So for example, you might be working on a television show that has a season order of 8 episodes. So the writer's room might be anywhere from 6 months to a year. Depending on how many episodes are ordered, etc. But then let's say that show doesn't get a second season. So what happens is then now you are out of a job and you have to go work on another television show, possibly performing that same job and doing the same thing to see if that show is going to get another season, to see if you can be bumped up. So the process of promotion is long. It takes longer. In general, it takes longer to get where you want to be. I have been really fortunate in that I have been able every year to get a higher position. I think compared to when I was actually working in advertising, when I was working in architecture, where I feel like those gradual promotions came fairly regularly, along with additional money. I think that is something that I had to adjust my mindset to when I came out here. Which leads me to my next tip, and that's you're gonna go through periods of unemployment. Now, if you're fortunate, when you end one gig, you'll be able to jump right onto another gig. But a lot of times, while you're in between shows, you are going to be unemployed for maybe 2 to 3 months. Hopefully that's it, before you can get onto another show, or before you find out whether the show that you were working on actually got picked up. So just be kind of prepared to have a little money squirreled away to, get yourself through those rough patches. Cultivate your different skill sets while you're out here so that you can make sure that you're hustling and making money doing different things when ultimately that period comes. So the next thing I wish I knew before getting into this industry is that the script that you write is not the script that's gonna be on air. It's gonna go through multiple rounds of rewrites. And I learned this as a writer's assistant sitting in the room. I don't know why I had the impression that once the writer writes the script, that's immediately what we see on television. No. Even the best writers, you realize that their first draft is still not their best draft. By the time the actual script gets from the writer, their first draft, to what you see on television, it has gone through probably 4 to 6, maybe more rewrites. The jokes have been punched up. The story has been maybe edited a little bit, cut. It's been fleshed out, whatever needs to happen within like different scenes. And it's essentially just been worked over multiple times. And that's also a good thing, right? Because you come out of it and your script is extremely strong by the time it actually gets to television. It makes it easier to cut through the fluff of your writing and really get to what the story is that you're trying to tell. But just know that, whatever your final draft is never going to be the actual final draft of the script. So the next thing that I wish I knew is how to present yourself in front of different industry professionals. So we are all very multifaceted people. We can do multiple things. I can write, I can produce, I could direct if I really wanted to, but the idea is when you come out here and you're working in this industry, especially as a younger writer or somebody first getting into this, you need to streamline what you want to do and who you want to be. So for example, I can write drama and I can write comedy, I can write television, and I can write movies. but you need to pick a lane, at least in the beginning, until you get to a point where you can break out that box and, you can write whatever you want to write. But at least when you're first starting out, a lot of industry professionals, executives, they want to know where to put you. They want to know what is the show that you're going to best mesh with. And if I say that, okay, I like dark dramas with, really character-driven stories, then that is something that they're going to look for in a place where they can put me at. As opposed to saying, oh, well, I like drama and I like comedy, so I can do both. Because then it's too broad of a spectrum. So definitely knowing when and how to streamline myself is something that I learned probably like a couple years into the industry, from other writers who just gave me that tip. So definitely something to consider. So the next tip I want to talk about is, and this is just a general life career thing that everybody should be considering. Do not chase money. Do not follow the money. This is an industry where you can make a lot of money, but it is also not the industry to follow or be in if you want to make money right away. Especially just starting out. This must be something that you are passionate about. You have to love television. You have to love writing television or writing film or whatever your thing is, but you need to be passionate about the thing that you're doing. If you are doing it just for money, it's never going to be rewarding, ever. It's just not. And that's really with any job or any career that you're in. You should always do something because you love to do it. And that's not even something that I wish I didn't know. I did know that. I do think what I wish I knew before was that you don't, like, the money is not gonna come until later. Like, the money comes when you start being staff. The money comes when you actually get on shows, when you sell shows. The money is not in being an assistant. It's not. Being an assistant is a step. It's a learning curve. It's breaking in. It's all of those things, and it's great. I have so many other videos on just being an assistant and what I've learned just through my assistant struggles. But do not get in this industry if you're looking for like a quick payout right away. It's just not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So you really have to be in it for the long haul, or else you're gonna be lost. So another tip is write what you are passionate about. You don't need to write what other people are saying is the trend or what is popular right now in television just so you can break in. Write something that is new and fresh and very original to you and who you are. You don't need to write the next Law and Order if you don't like procedurals or you don't like cop shows. Don't write that. You know what I mean? Write whatever is passionate to you. Write whatever is in your heart to write, no matter how quirky or odd or weird it is. Your perspective is yours, and you will always have a take that is different from somebody else. So the next thing I wish I knew before I got into this industry, it's mentally exhausting. It is taxing. It is one of those industries where you're working a lot of long days. You have to be very focused. You will be in a room isolated writing by yourself most of the time, which is something that I'm used to and familiar with, but you have to be doing that around working 12-hour days in production or in a writer's room. It can be stressful. Like, just in general, there are going to be times where people don't see your value. There are going to be times where you are overworked. There are going to be times when you're just exhausted. You're mentally exhausted and you don't have the capacity to work on your own stuff. You know what I mean? Which is the whole point. And you're going to get bogged down with other people's shit, to be quite honest. Especially depending on the role that you're in. Your life might take a back seat for a little while you're actually trying to pursue this dream. That's normal in any job that you're passionate about that is worth the reward, right? You're going to put in a lot of long hours so that you really know the craft. But just know it is okay to have a therapist on speed dial. Okay? And it's also very important to make sure you keep hobbies outside of writing that bring you joy. For me, something that I had to learn is I had to learn when to detach from being a writer, because something that I really didn't realize is that writing brings me so much joy. It's something that I would do in my spare time. I do it for free. That's, you know, that's who I am. But you have to get out of it. There has to be days when you do not write. Try really hard not to get so inundated with this industry and everything that you need to do in the career that you stop enjoying it and you are burnt out. So that leads me to my next point, which is knowing when to quit. And I think this is the most important thing, if I impart nothing else in this video, is knowing that it is okay to not be in a situation where you are overworked, underpaid, undervalued. I think as assistants, we're taught that you are in a position that hundreds and thousands of other people would have. And that's a really toxic way of thinking, right? Because it, like, in a way, it's supposed to make you feel like I have done the work and I am here, and that's great. Like, still feel like that. But it's also meant to keep you in a place where it's like you feel as if you leave, if you're in a situation where, you know, you're being abused or mistreated or spoke down to. I've heard horrible stories from people that you should stay in that position. And no, leave. Because I guarantee you there will be another employer, another television show, another production company that is willing to bring you on, to value you, to promote you, to celebrate you. And I'm very passionate about this because I absolutely, like, part of the reason I think that the industry, especially for assistants, has stayed in like a really toxic place where it hasn't moved the needle that much, especially in terms of pay and just relationship building, is because so many employers believe that they can just have like assistants that do every and anything for them without concern for their well-being. And that is something that really needs to change. And you know, I'm a big proponent of like speaking truth, but I'm also a big proponent of knowing who you are and knowing your value and knowing that you are the first step to changing the system is you. Because at the end of the day, nothing, like, this industry functions and cannot function properly without assistants, coordinators, the people who are at the lower level to help make everything work and everything run. So it's very important that you know your worth and you know your value and you do not stay in toxic situations. And really, this is across the board, right? This is in your career. This is in the industry out here. This is your personal career. This is your relationships. This is with your family. Like, no. So leave that motherfucker, like, and go and be great. And the last tip that I want to give you is actually something that my dentist told me the other day. And that is that writers are superheroes, right? We make something from nothing. So when you are coming into this industry, and you know, if you look at everybody else, there's kind of a blueprint. And not that there's not a blueprint in writing and how to write a script and things like that, but just coming up with ideas. We generate ideas from our lives, from nothing. We look at trees and next thing you know, we have a whole story around the tree, whatever. But we don't need a template to create. We can just create. We are magic, okay? We're magic.